Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Christina, coming to you from the Catio, and Mrs. is actually hanging out with us today for the video. And today our convo, the topic is the smear campaign the same thing as the victim of narcissistic abuse telling their truth? And the answer is no, absolutely not. It is not the same thing. So, for starters, the smear campaign is invented by the narcissist based on lies and mistruths about a person or several people in order to discredit their credibility and their character. Now, it's whenever you meet someone who has every ex-partner, they were crazy, they are horrible, they were abusive, or every friend, they were untrustworthy, they did something to betray me. Everybody can't be the villain. And in the narcissist story, they most definitely are. Whether it's friends, ex-partners, family members that they do not stay in contact with anymore, they always will make them out to be the villain in their story. And narcissists do this to gain sympathy, empathy from other people that they are now courting for supply. So most of the time, it's all fabricated lies. There's no truth to what the narcissist has to say. And if there is some sort of fragment of truth, they take it and exploit it to an entirely different level. You could go ahead, come home from work, kick back, have a glass of wine, have a beer, and they will say, and my narcissist said this to me, well, you have a drinking problem. Now, understand, when I met the narcissist, I was 20 years old. I never even drank, and I didn't drink much at all. But then, and he was actually, at that time, he was still drinking alcohol. The moment he seen that I like to come home and unwind with a glass of wine at the end of the day or on the weekend when we were having a cookout, it became, well, you drink too much. Or another thing I loved was when he would say, you're abusive, you're volatile. And it was always funny the words he chose, because the words he chose about his ex-wife, he couldn't use the same verbiage on me. That would be too obvious. The same verbiage he used on family members like his sister or his father or his brother-in-law. He couldn't use those same descriptive words. So it's like he learned a new word. Volatile, you're volatile. And I would sit there as calm and with as hard as it is, I sat there as calm as possible because I knew that anything I could do could immediately turn him into narcissistic rage. So him saying these lies and farces, even in front of me, that was the beginning of the smear campaign. And I'm sure there's some version with that verbiage out there as he's spreading it to, his friends or his family or the new supply and the new group of people that he has now befriended. Anything that's going to discredit and dishonor who I am. So that's why and how the narcissist will go ahead and start a smear campaign on you, because they have to look good. They cannot accept accountability, responsibility, or that a relationship ended that they didn't intend on ending. They want to make sure you look as crazy as possible so they can come back and say, look, that's what they're doing. He did that or she did that. See, this is why I had to leave. Or I didn't want to leave, but they left me. Anything that's going to gain them sympathy from the new supply. So that's why narcissists begin the smear campaign. They do it, I believe, well in advance of the relationship ending. I believe they start that during the devaluation phase. And that way it is already the seed has been planted in people around their minds so they can go, oh, I told you about that. I told you what he did. I told you what she did. Now look, she left me, or he discarded me, or however the end of the relationship comes. So, but no, when the survivor of narcissistic abuse decides to open up and tell their story, share their experience, that is not the same as a smear campaign, because it's not based in lies. It's based in truth and hopefully facts. And that's why I can tell you, when he broke into my home, that was the first boundary I was able to throw up finally after 18 years, and I called the police. Now I have a police report. Now that is facts. That's factual. It's like narcissists live in a state of fantasy, whereas people who've been on the receiving end of narcissistic abuse, we live in the idea of facts. That's where we live. In facts, reason, understanding. And the narcissist, when you do begin to tell your side of the story, your accounts, your truth, it drives them crazy because you've now outed them as for what they are, which is toxic, demonic presences that don't love, don't care. And they don't want you to share that with anyone. And I highly recommend you do, because keeping the bad things that have happened to you inside, in your heart, in your soul, is only going to hurt you in the long run. I would highly recommend seeking out a therapist who's trained in specifically narcissistic abuse, and also finding a mentor, someone who has been down that path, because no one understands better than another survivor, because most of the time the survivor's already out that other side and they're thriving. So I would highly recommend that. I started this channel after talking to my therapist and really expressing that I wanted to try to help people. If I could just help one person not have to stay for 18 years, get out sooner, don't wait for the discard. That's why this channel is so important to me. This is my journey. This is my story of how I got here and my journey of healing from my ex-narcissist's abuse. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to clear up the difference, and if there was a difference between the smear campaign and a survivor actually being honest, opening up, sharing their truth. And of course there is. Because one is based in lies and fiction, and the other is based in facts and reality. So if you like this video, guys, please give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe, share, anything that's going to help push this content out onto YouTube so others in this community have access to maybe have a better understanding of what they are dealing with. And if you could, drop comments below. I'd love to hear feedback, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the smear campaign. And when you were out of the relationship, did you speak to people and finally be able to tell your truth? So I'd love to hear your feedback as well. But until next time, guys, I'm Christina, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.